that brings us to our next story.
Oh, no.
Phil Lord and Chris Miller talking about their departure from Solo, a Star Wars story.
Man.
This week, the two of them were guests on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast because they've got this new show out called The After Party, which is on Apple TV Plus. Which, by the way, so good. Like I'm loving it. Like it's really, really good. It's a murder
great.
It's a murder mystery. So a Star Wars director going on to make a murder mystery. Where have I heard that one before, Ryan Johnson? They say they so it's a murder mystery show, but every episode is from a different character's perspective, and so it's a different genre of episodes. So like the first episode is like a rom-com, the second episode's like a Fast and Furious movie, the third episode's like a crime drama, one of them's a musical. It's so good. Like it's genuinely I'm loving this show. Like
That's amazing.
I can't say enough good things about it. But so they're out doing the rounds talking about that. And of course that means that Solo is going to come up, and they were guests, as I said, on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, and they talked a little bit about it. Here's what they said:
they can't take away what you learned. We learned so much. We got to work with the greatest people. We made so many friends. We put what in animation we call pencil miles, under our belts, and it made us better filmmakers in the long run. So in a funny way, there's obviously there were some negative emotions associated with that, but the way I feel about it now is just like I feel about all these projects, which is you're just trying to become better and learn and collaborate with people, and that doesn't go away.
Is it true you almost convinced Christian Bale to be in a Star Wars movie? Did you come close on that?
I'm not sure about almost. I can't confirm it was discussed.
Okay.
Interesting. Almost Christian Bale almost getting the getting the call for Star Wars.
Okay, who's Christian Bale playing in Solo? That's what I'm curious about.
Beckett.
Okay. All right.
Beckett,
All right.
yeah.
I prefer Woody Harrelson, but I could take him.
Yeah, well, I remember when this was rumored back in the day that Christian Bale was up for the mentor role that ultimately
I remember that. Yeah.
Ultimately went to Woody Harrelson, and at the time I was more pulling for Bale, but ultimately I can't complain with what Woody brought to the character. I quite like his portrayal, but it's fascinating what those guys have to say. I want to know the full story of what went down there, and it's a shame. I don't know if we ever will, but there's clearly something happened, because these two, before Solo and after Solo, it's just been like success after success after success. Like it's hard to look at their IMDb and find stuff that isn't a big hit. And like the things that they there are some things, I guess, where they were executive producers on, but the things that they wrote or directed, like they're either hits or at the very least they're beloved things. So I can't I can't imagine that. It's weird that it's just weird to me. It's weird to me that they would be the ones to get the boot. Like, when Josh Trank left, could I understand that? When they had to move Garrett, when they removed Gareth Edwards off of Rogue One and they put Tony Gilroy in there, no disrespect to Gareth, but I sort of understood that one. He was still a fairly inexperienced director. These two had several hits already under their belts before they came on to Solo, and yet, for whatever reason, their style didn't mesh with Larry Kasdan's style or with Kathleen Kennedy's style. It's just weird, and every little bit we get from them is so tantalizing. Yeah,
I'm like you. I'm just like, I want to sit down with them. I want to sit down with them and just hear that story and learn what actually happened. Because I think so many people, especially now that we've all seen the movie, and have opinions about Solo. If you like Solo, I like Solo, you're like, oh, well, it turned out all right. Like, the movie pretty good. Like, so no harm done. Ron Howard, he pulled it together. He did all right. If you didn't like Solo, you're like, I would have really liked to have seen their version of the movie. And I think
here's what I'll say real quick, Ben, just about that. I like Solo as we got it. I think I'd rather see their version.
I mean, I like Solo a lot. It might be up there in my ranking, but I really would love to see what they were going to do. And I think everyone, like, regardless of that, would want to see like where they were going. I know some people, obviously some people had strong opinions either way, and I think it's all colored when it came down to like they're fired. We don't know why they were fired. We just know they were. Everyone has kind of opinions of like, well, good, because I didn't want them making a, whatever else. And you had all those rumors about, like Alden was doing like Jim Carrey stuff, like, and all that stuff. And I'm like, it depends on what you believe. I want to know the truth. Like, I want to know like what actually happened. What was it? What was it? Was it not meshing with the Kasdans? Was it Larry Kasdan just going crazy? What was the actual truth?